To the principles of braking and stopping. Braking should be planned before a curve or turn. The key to navigating a curve is to maintain traction. Traction will ensure you that the vehicle does not leave the roadway. Braking should be done before driving down a hill and before the need to stop. And think of it this way. Try to utilize your secondary braking devices like your Jake brake or your Telma or your retarder to ensure you slow down the vehicle and only minimally actually use your brakes. This will reduce issues like overheating. Our apparatus today are equipped with anti-lock brake systems. In fact, all fire engines after year 2000 are equipped with anti-lock brakes. Anti-lock brakes are like threshold braking. It prevents the wheels from skidding and allows steering while braking. Older engines prior to year 2000 do not have anti-lock brakes, and the operator should understand this when emergency braking. And if entering a skid, always direct the steering wheel in the direction of the skid. Brake fade, and brakes can fade or fail if they're overheated. So one good practice the operator can do is to minimize the use of brakes when going downhill by using the secondary brake systems as mentioned earlier. Total stopping distance. The California Commercial Handbook includes 4 factors for total stopping distance, including perception, reaction, braking lag, and braking distance. The definition for total stopping distance is the distance of travel measured from the time a hazard is detected until the vehicle comes to a complete stop. The first factor for total stopping distance is perception distance. This is the distance that traveled the time your eyes see a hazard until your brain knows it. On average, this is about 3/4 of a second. And this is the time your brain is processing to identify the hazard, to analyze what do you see, and decide what you must do. The second factor is reaction distance. This is the distance traveled from the time the brain tells the foot to move from the accelerator to the brake, or it's the execute or do it step. For example, if the apparatus is traveling 30 miles an hour, the perception distance is 33 feet, and then the reaction distance is another 33 feet. The third factor, and this only requires for vehicles with air brakes, so all of our fire engines do have the third factor because they're all equipped with air brakes, but this is the time required for brakes to engage after the brake pedal is pushed. The fourth factor is the apparatus braking distance. And this is the speed directly affects the reaction and apparatus braking distances. So important to realize, the faster you go, the longer it takes to stop. As an example, if you double the speed you're traveling, stopping distance is increased 4 times. So in this case, you have perception distance, reaction distance, and braking distance. For a vehicle, this could be up to almost 300 feet for a vehicle traveling highway speeds. So note, for an alert driver, total stopping distance may be close as 300 feet while traveling at highway speeds. Type of braking techniques. First one is what's referred to as evasive or panic braking. This is just sudden and aggressive braking when need to stop quickly. It should be avoided, but often is not, due to the simple fact that you're quickly trying to stop. You should try to transition to what's referred to as threshold braking. In threshold braking, we apply the brakes to the full potential without locking. ABS provides this type of braking capacity. There's also straight line braking, which is applying the brakes while traveling in a straight line. This is a very good technique and should be applied before curves. Trail braking is when you slowly release the brake pressure while turning. It's applied after straight line braking, and what it does is it transfers the weight to the front tires, maximizing traction while doing the turn. Too much pressure on the brakes will end up causing oversteer, which could be incorrectly corrected, resulting to potential leaving the roadway. Trail braking should be completed at the apex, and after trail braking and past the apex, we would accelerate out of the turn. Braking techniques for downgrade braking is apply the brakes until the apparatus slows down, and then reduce the speed approximately 5 miles below a safe speed. An example of this safe speed could be a yellow posted sign on the side of the downhill grade with a picture of a truck in it, and let's say it shows 40 miles an hour. You would want to be traveling at 35 miles an hour and apply the brakes anytime you go over 35, so that in theory you never went over the safe speed with that extra buffer of 5 miles an hour. When the apparatus speed increases again to safe speed, apply the brakes again. That is all for our review of the principles of braking and stopping.